Yawm al-Qiyamah. That time, by the way, some of the parents, old parents, used to do this before. Yes, they say, they will hit you, they will slap you, they will say, why, but that was that time. Now, these particular strategies do not work. By threatening to say, you're going to go to hellfire, that doesn't work, unfortunately. Yes? We've got to make sure that they love Salah. And the main point here is that you need to examine your relationship with Salah. Do you wake up for Salatul Fajr? Do you pray on time? And then how do you expect your child to wake up on time? So certain points, practical points, I'll go through them very quickly. I am so sorry that some of you have to sit down for so long, and I know you might have some back problems, causes back issues, so I really appreciate that you guys are here in high numbers listening to me. I am no one, but may Allah bless you, and I'm very sorry if I do take some more time. Inshallah, it's for the benefit of everyone. So some points, very quick points. Pray together at home. I know these are obvious stuff, but there are families who don't pray together. The father prays at one room, the mother prays in another room, and they expect everyone. At every salah, make sure you pray together. What I have done, and I'm giving you my experience not to tell you, look, I am the best, I have a lot of faults, but I want to share my experience with you. What I've recently done, which I have found useful, is between the two salah, when we as an old family come and pray together, if we're praying Salatul Maghrib and Isha together, where I lead, I stop, after Salatul Maghrib, I take a break, and I give a 1-minute story to my children. Something about life. Have that connection, use that time when they are sitting down in front of the Qibla, and start that relationship where you give a story, don't give a lecture like we do. I stop myself to give a lecture, right? But give a story. There's lots of really nice stories out there. Something that they can be motivated. And my 8-year-old is actually always looks forward to these stories. Say, well, are we going to have that 1 minute? I say, yes. So she comes and prays with us. And of course, not wajib for her, but she comes and prays for us. Allow one of them to do the adhan, iqamah. Yes, give them that role. Remember, we talked about chores. Give them that responsibility, that role. Do tasbih al-Zahra out loud. When we finish, what I used to take my daughter, the 8-year-old, she sits on my lap after I finish salah, and she opens her hand, and we used to do tasbih al-Zahra together. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, so the others can hear. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So that you create that environment, create that connection, and always teach them the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallu ala Muhammad wa alihi. Now, we've talked about connection and how can we connect with our children. Now I'm going to start moving towards something else, a different connection. The world of social media, the world of technology connection. Because it is a challenge. I won't say it's a problem, but I will say it's a challenge for us as parents in order how are we going to monitor the connection with our children. Now what I'm going to do is something very unusual. I can see some tired faces, so I want with a salawat, everyone to get up and then sit down again. Sallu ala Muhammad wa Please have a seat. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I think that feels a bit better, doesn't it? So what about social media? Let me give you some statistics so that we start off this discussion. Inshallah, it won't take long. A study by the Kaiser Family Foundation here in America found that 8 to 18-year-olds devote an average of 7 hours and 38 minutes using entertainment. So it could be games, it could be TV, but every single day. Average of 7 hours and 38 minutes, which translates to more than 53 hours per week. Typical American, huh? A study published in the Pediatrics GAMA found that children who spend more than 2 hours a day on screens scored lower on language and thinking tests compared to those who had less screen time. What about physical health? Does it affect our physical health? The National Institute of Health, NIH, here in America, found that children who spend more than 5 hours, and there are a lot of children who spend more than 5 hours per day on screens, are 71% more likely to become obese compared to those who spend less than 2 hours. Because they don't move around. What about mental health? A study by Common Sense Media reported that teenagers who spend more time on social media are more likely to report poor mental health, including symptoms of anxiety and depression. What about their sleep? The National Sleep Foundation found that 60% of children aged 6 to 17 years sleep with an electronic device in their bedroom. Can you believe this? 60% of 6 to 17-year-olds, they sleep with an electronic device in their bedroom, which negatively impacts their sleep quality. And the problem is, my dear brothers and sisters, the statistics show that mostly the teenagers don't even realize that there is a problem. Common Sense Media reports that says only 25% of teenagers think that social media has mostly negative effects. Only 25%, so 75% don't really think there is anything wrong with social media. And that's why they continuously use it and use it. And so, this is a striking data that where they took this brain scans of those who use technology a lot and those who are addicted to drugs, such as alcohol, cocaine, heroin, marijuana, meth, and ketamine. And they found that there is similar white matter changes. You know, you've got the grey and white matter. There is similar white matter changes in the brain scans of people addicted to those particular drugs and those people who are what? Addicted to technology. So when you are addicted to technology, it is the same as you're taking all these very harmful drugs. Imagine your children, you say, yeah, my child is fine, yeah, he's playing some games, he's playing a lot of on social media. Alhamdulillah, he's not, he or she are not taking drugs, but actually, the brain is being affected in the same. This is, of course, when it becomes an addiction, not just when they use a bit of social media, and we'll explain more. This is when it becomes an addiction. Now, let's talk a bit, and I hope our children also listen to this, but this is very important for our parents, that social media platforms, majority in America of under 30s, they use three main social media platforms. They use Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram. And 62% of them actually use TikTok, in Pew Research they found. Now, what I'm about to say is something really important, and I hope that all the parents try to contemplate on this. TikTok, how many of the parents have actually researched about TikTok? How did TikTok even start? We allow our children, once I gave a youth workshop, and I found, there was many of the youth, and one of the children was sitting down, he was 12 years old, and he said, yeah, I have access to TikTok 24 hours a day. And he said, before I sleep, I check all the TikTok. And there are lots of children out there. And in fact, I asked all the children, they were around 50, 60 teenagers, around teenager age, 12 plus. 98% of them had social media accounts. Okay? So this is in our community, by the way, the followers of Ahl-e-Bait. Now, TikTok was originally in China called Douyin, D-O-U-I-N. And it still exists, Douyin. And Douyin was established in China in 2016. But listen to this. It was established as a short video platform, and it still exists. But then in 2017, they came up with this new platform called TikTok in the West, in America mainly, and also in the UK and Europe, etc. But they still have Douyin. They don't have TikTok in China. They have TikTok in the West, and they have Douyin in China. Now, do you know what the difference between the two? The way they programmed Douyin is that Douyin is mostly focused on educational and skill improvement content. Whereas TikTok is mostly focused on what? On entertainment. Go and check it out. Again, this is the data proves it, but if you don't trust me, go and check it out. They say it. And the TikTok world is enjoying the entertainment of pranks, of doing all these particular things, right? How people should look. But they want to educate their people, but also gaining a lot of financial interest from the West. And also